The WWE is back with the Saudis, so that all the McMahons can fuel up their Audis. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlogger who always tells it like it is. Rankings are down below now, along with how each of the top 5 did on the previous SmackDown, Raw, and NXT 2.0 shows. DNC is not a dig on a certain blue political party. It means did not compete. And this is all pre-draft right now. Next time, everyone who changed sides will be changed in the rankings. So for the first time since February of the year that must not be named, the WWE is keeping their commitment to Saudi Arabia and having a WrestleMania-esque card in Riyadh. Yep. Just a missile's throw from Iran and Iraq, and not too far from Afghanistan, where the under new old management sign is still fresh, assuming it and the building attached to it hasn't been blown up. But hey, we're better than a kingdom to crown a king and queen of the ring, right? And the 4 are in desperate need of pushing. If it works for Happy Corbin, it could work for an overlooked New Day member or a demon. It could also work for an underutilized Latina New Yorker, or the only other woman who could take Nia Jax in a sumo contest. Add to that 2 primary title matches, a number of grudge matches, more actual women competing, and a tag title rematch. I'd say the arena, though maybe not as big as the stadiums they've been holding Saudi shows in before the pandemic, will have a more than sedated crowd, and Vince will gladly take the Sultan's ransom that comes from it. So here are my picks for Crown Jewel 2021. We start with Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali. Really, Ali? Challenging Mansoor to a match in Mansoor's home country, the same Mansoor who won an ill-conceived 50-man battle royal there a few years ago, the same one who, if I remember correctly, has yet to lose on his native soil. Well, this is the same Mustafa Ali who did that whole ridiculous "the truth is out there" vignettes that bombed at the start of their incarceration, I should say, in the Performance Center. Not to mention the same Ali who claimed to have built the Retribution factions that bombed so hard in the Thunderdome. He's not known for his great decision-making. Winner is Mansoor. Hell in a Cell match, Edge versus Seth Rollins. Even with both men heading to Raw after this, the twain should never meet again. Not after that house invasion deal that I thought ended when Samoa Joe visited AJ Styles' place a few years ago. By the way, you do have to wonder if Beth Phoenix was okay with this angle, and if that's why she wasn't on NXT 2.0 last Tuesday. In any case, Hell in a Cell has become the feud-ending match of style in the WWE lately, so I'll be relieved when this match ends. And yes, Rollins does have more experience with the match than Edge, but I'd like to think that the whole Back to the Brood persona was more than just a SummerSlam stunt. Edge doesn't have much time left in his career. If he can get some redemption for having to use some of his homeowner's insurance on the damage Rollins done, all the better. Winner is Edge. No holds barred match, Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley. You know, I thought Goldie already had his 2 contractually obligated matches for this year. You have to wonder how much of the take from this event Goldie's taking for doing a 3rd one. Now, traditionally, no-holds-barred matches take a long time to complete. And we all know that the luckiest Jew in professional wrestling this side of Paul Heyman can't go for very long. Unless he finishes Lashley off quickly, Lashley's going to go all might on him with a Kansas smash that'll probably end his career. There's no way Goldberg is going to kill Lashley. By the time Lashley's life flashes before his eyes, Goldberg will be too winded to finish the job. Plus, who knows if the newly reformed Hurt Business will be in his corner or not. Oh, sure, maybe Gage can help keep them at bay to a point, but the bottom line is timing. Quick match, Goldberg wins. Not so quick match like a no-holds-barred match usually is. Not so much. Winner is Bobby Lashley. King of the Ring finals. Xavier Woods versus Finn Balor. I must admit that when I saw the bracket at first, it looked almost like they were deliberately leading to a face-against-face final. And Murphy's Law, that's exactly what we are. But do you see how confident Xavier Woods was on Raw, especially when he wore the cape and crown while staring Finn Balor eye to eye? There's a thin line between confidence and outright cockiness. And Xavier is having a hard time staying behind that line. Now, it's not like we haven't seen the New Day as heels before. Hell, for a better part of the start of their existence, they were booed by the crowds. It was just when the fans got the power of positivity pounded into them that they started cheering. And as I said in a previous vlog, Woods needs the attention much more than Balor does. It'll be a great match, but I suspect Kofi Kingston will get involved in All Hail King Xavier the PhD! Winner is Xavier Woods. Queen's Crown Finals. Doudrop versus Zelina Vega. Some years ago I said that Zelina Vega was the Rookie of the Year. Sadly, though, she hasn't done much with my praise. Even with Andrade out of the picture, not to mention her real-life hubby, Aleister Black, her want for wrestlers' union kept her in the darkness. Who knows if Vince's mixed-up mind has forgotten that, but she got into the Money in the Bank match as soon as she came back, so that's something? Doudrop? Look, she uses her size to her advantage, granted, but she hasn't been on the main rosters for very long, and most of that time it was Eva Marie's lackey. She didn't even win the NXT UK Women's title before the call-up. She needs a little more refinement before giving any title, including Queen of the Ring. Winner is Zelina Vega. All hail Zelina, the Queen from Queens! Raw Tag Team Championships. RK Bro defend against AJ Styles and Omos. The SummerSlam rematch that nobody wanted to see. But because the tag team ranks are still slim at best, even with Hit Row coming over from NXT, I guess this has to be until Riddle loses another partner thanks to his Spicoli-like brain. I can't even listen to Riddle anymore when he spouts such rubbish like he just stepped out of an 80s teen comedy. Lord knows how Randy Orton keeps the voices in his head from constantly saying, "Red Rum," whenever Riddle talks. Now that's not to say that Styles and Omos are going to take the titles back, au contraire. It is the unpredictability of Orton and Riddle that threw the Phenomenal One and his personal Colossus off at SummerSlam. And with Orton biting his tongue so hard he's in danger of becoming like Cotton from the original Pirates of the Caribbean film, RK Bro is even more unpredictable than before. Winner and still champs, RK Bro. Triple threat for the SmackDown Women's title. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Well, this will be a highly competitive match. One would think the result would be obvious. As the Boss is the only one who will be on SmackDown after this pay-per-view, she would have to be the SmackDown Women's Champ, right? Well, up until last Monday, you'd be right. But Charlotte Flair, on her last night on Raw, was successful in defending the Raw Women's title, even though it was by DQ. And since it would be ridiculous to have both female champs on one show, that would mean that someone going to Raw has to win it. And then the titles will be swapped on SmackDown the next day. That means with the EST, either EST wins back the belt or the man keeps it. Now while Charlotte seems to only have respect for herself, I think she tolerates Lynch a little more than Blair. I'm sure she'd rather swap belts with Becky than the girl she put a chair to last Monday. So, in the surprisingly good fight of the night, the winner and still champ is Becky Lynch. WWE Championship, Big E against Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I know, Drew's been chomping at the bit to win back the title, but the deal made with Bobby Lashley prevented him from going for it until Lashley lost the title to someone else. Well, that someone else just so happened to be Big E. And truth be told, it seems that breaking up the New Day was the best thing to ever happen to Big E. He no longer has to be content with sharing gold with others. He dropped to the bottom when the New Day started, and now he's here on top. Not that McIntyre's story isn't similar. After all, he was canned from the WWE and had to fight his way back through NXT to even be recognized again. It's just a shame that his entire runs as champion were in front of literally nobody. This will be the match of the night, and no doubt about that. The two will put each other through hell and back, but in the end, Big E will hang on to the belt and get the utmost respect of the Scottish Warrior. Winner and still champion, Big E. Finally, for the Universal Championship, Roman Reigns defends against Brock Lesnar. In either case, we'll find out once and for all which side Paul Heyman is on. Brock has been doing something he has never done in all his years of combat in both 4- and 8-sided rings. He's playing mind games with Reigns. And we once thought Lesnar didn't have a mind with which to play games, or at least one capable of such games. But he has Reigns second, third, and even fourth guessing Heyman's loyalty. Now, if the Usos show up, things will be even tougher for Brock, but it'll all depend on what Heyman does. Will he turn his back on the man that dragged him out of obsolescence 2 SummerSlams ago? Or does the tribal chief have his nutsack in a sling? Either way, we know Lesnar isn't going to win given his current contract. So, though Lesnar will put Reigns through the ringer, the head of the table will prove that every knee must bend and every tongue acknowledge him. Winner and still champion, Roman Reigns. Those are my picks. And here's hoping that COVID makes unlike the Taliban and doesn't return in spades. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. Stay safe, and I'll see you